To understand the Greenbrier companies, you need to meet this man, Bill Furman, CEO and chairman of the board, someone who speaks his mind.
We can't become a nation of just nothing but selfish, bickering money grubbers. And if you don't get seduced by that, and you can have good principles, and you can run a company where you respect the customer, because without a customer, you're nothing.
But with the customer, you're everything. Throw in respect for employees and you can be very successful indeed. And Greenbrier is. It's headquartered in Lake Oswego with roughly 11,000 employees around the world and revenues of $2 billion. The company's roots extend deep into Oregon and stretch all the way back to 1919, when the Gunderson brothers formed a steel fabrication plant in Portland. There were tough times. Gunderson almost went under in the late 1930s, but Navy contracts saved the company during World War II. In the late 50s, Gunderson began making rail cars, and business got better. 35 years later, in 1985, Bill Furman and his partner Alan James had a leasing company called Greenbrier. It was named after the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia, which still has a bunker underground built as a shelter for members of Congress if needed during the Cold War. It is still there today.
It was an interesting history, but we kept getting people calling and saying, we'd like to make a reservation at the resort because they confused us with that company. We finally changed the name to a different spelling.
Gunderson by then also had a different name. Furman and James bought the company and changed the name back to the original Gunderson. Also in 1985, Gunderson refined and built the twin-stack rail car, a breakthrough in the industry that allowed 2 shipping containers to be stacked on one railroad car. It remains a wildly popular product.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. We've made about 60% of all the double-stack cars in the world. We probably made 120,000 of those cars.
While we're on the topic of rail cars, I had to ask Furman about graffiti. He said the company tried a paint-resistant finish on the cars, but that just made the graffiti smear. And they tried painting over the graffiti.
That was working for a while, but then graffiti took off, and you'd paint those cars, and they'd be out in the rail yard, and the next day they'd have this graffiti on. And the art has advanced, so it's really some of it's really pretty attractive.
So now they mostly live with it.
Just celebrate it, just go with the flow. You got to accept change, you got to adapt, right?
As Greenbrier grew, its companies began building freight cars in the U.S., Mexico, Poland, Romania, and Turkey. Greenbrier also manages more than 400,000 rail cars in America for other owners.
And we manage here out of these offices over 25% of the North American fleet of rail cars, and there's a tremendous amount of technology behind keeping track of where rail cars are, how they're being maintained, and that's where I see a real opportunity for Greenbrier to kind of go to that next level is around service and how do we provide service to our customers.
Lori Tacorius is president and COO for the Greenbrier companies. Over 26 years, she's risen up through the ranks and believes company culture is a big reason for its continued growth.
It is a culture of people that want to work hard. We have this desire to solve our customers' problems, and I think it's that natural tendency that crosses all of our different business units that helps us to pull together and think about things creatively. But we're also very caring and participatory. We want to include people and include our customers. We believe that sort of relationship really matters.
Greenbrier became a publicly traded company in 1994, which brought pressure from investors to turn fast profits. Company leaders resisted.
We have to look long term. We are not just, turn the dial and crank up the widgets more this quarter versus next quarter, but we're part of the fabric of a much larger industry here in North America.
Investors believe them, and the company's stock price has climbed along with Greenbrier's growth.
So you can't just dial it up and make numbers one quarter and continue to do that quarter after quarter. It has to be sustainable.
The Greenbrier companies also include the Gunderson Marine Division with roughly 500 employees and 75 acres along the Willamette River where they stage spectacular launches. And in case you're wondering, yes, the price of steel has gone up. Way up. And is it hard to find enough steel for that?
Today, steel has been, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole or anything, but steel prices have gone up 300% since about 18 months ago. So yeah, it's been, you can find it, but it's very costly.
During the year 2020, the pandemic hit Greenbrier like everyone else, forcing a massive layoff of 7,000 employees. Now it's recovering. After 36 years running the ever-expanding company, Bill Furman plans to retire September of 2022. He's learned some hard lessons along the way. Here's just one of many.
We learned not to let engineers design cars without talking to customers, for example. That was what FMC was doing. They designed some kind of car, but nobody wanted it because it was an engineer's dream.
As for the future, he has one hope, that the company's culture of respecting its workers remains.
If you have an employee meeting, we have one every quarter all over the world. You'll ask these people questions, or they'll ask you questions, and they're really intelligent questions. And you can learn from those people, but they won't talk to you if they're afraid of you. Then they won't talk to you and nothing will happen. So I want that culture preserved. That's the only selfish thing I think I've got. I'd hate to see it destroyed.